I just give a little introduction. I mean, as everyone should know, hopefully, if you go to dragontalks.info, the website, when it's working, I think it was a bit overloaded today, it wasn't working perfectly. There's a beautiful bio for each and every speaker. So if you're not sure of their links, that's where to go. Just literally scroll down the page, and there's their beautiful face, all smiling, and all the information about them, and the full bio, all their links and their Instagram pages, and their LinkedIn and their Facebooks and their groups, and all their offerings. But yeah, Atlantis Wolf. We met a while ago last year, and that was beautiful. And your energy is always very shining. So whenever I see your picture, you're always smiling, which I, I love to see. But yeah, your bio, I'll say a little bit to introduce you. So Atlantis Wolf is a shaman, which is beautiful, master breathwork facilitator, and licensed medical massage therapist, which yeah, well, all those skills together is quite amazing. And I say the whole bio's on the system, but the bit that came through for me was about the healing with dragons, and that's your topic for today. And for me, the dragons I find very healing. I use them in my shamanic practice, and they're very powerful and very gentle when they need to be, and very strong when they need to be. And I believe your talk today is how dragons can heal you.
Mhm.
So I hand over to you, and you've got an hour, and you can use all of it, or if you get to a point where you feel like you want to stop, we can have an open question session. That would be beautiful as well. So
Wonderful. Thank you so much,
Wolf,
Kevin. I appreciate the introduction and I appreciate the invitation to come here. I had a wonderful time last year on the International Dragon Summit. Glad to bring it back again and just kind of continue the conversation is what I would like to say. So today I'm going to do a short intro for anybody who doesn't know me. And I'm going to give you my background just so that you know who is this person, why is she talking, and why should I listen to her. And then we're going to do a guided meditation where I'm going to guide you through the process. I'm going to teach it to you. And so that's something that you can do yourself, is how to release physical, emotional, spiritual, sort of spent pain to the dragons. And then I'm going to give you time to process, because the processing and sort of integrating the experience is extremely important to me. It's important to shamanism. It's part of my lineage. And I don't think that, I like to say, I don't want to take you high and say goodbye. I want to make sure that you've taken the experience, that you've taken time to reflect on it, understand it, fill it back in. And then I'll give you a little bit of advice, just a little sip, and then we'll have time for questions and answers. So the first thing is, my name is Atlantis Wolf, and I am a fire dragon. I am a shaman, master breathwork facilitator, and a licensed medical massage therapist. I'm calling in from Cleveland, Ohio. For anybody who doesn't know the United States, think about where New York is, think about Chicago, draw a line in between, and I'm a little closer to Chicago on the Great Lakes in Ohio, the state of Ohio. So my background is actually in civil engineering. I have a degree in civil engineering because my dad said I couldn't be an English major. I dual majored in English and civil engineering. I went on to be a civil engineer, environmental engineer, project manager. Basically, I went through the process of trying to be a good girl, trying to do what I was told, trying to meet expectations. And then my mom died. And I looked around and thought, I don't want to die in a cube. Honestly, that's what I thought. I looked around and I saw beige walls, beige carpet, beige people, and I said, I don't want to die here. This is not good. And so what I did is I asked for help. And I believe to this day that that's the reason why I'm here, because I was desperate. I was grief-stricken. I was contemplating suicide. Luckily, I had two children that really, looked at me and said, what's for breakfast? So that was not going to happen. But I was just at the edge. And so I just prayed. I went to bed and I said, I have to stay here. If you want me to stay here, You need to give me something. Give me a strong sign. This is before I could see dragons, before I could see archangels, before I had any healing experience at all. Zero. I was a project manager for a financial services company, single mom trying to make ends meet. And I woke up, and as if it was written in a silver pen with glittering outline, it said massage therapist. And I said, okay. I went to work. I quit my very lucrative job, and they thought I was crazy, and they said the door's always open. I said I appreciate it, but this is my path. And I never looked back. I've been in private practice for 14 years. I'm the only person I know who's a single mother to 4 children. I had 2, and I adopted 2 from an alcoholic house. And I have created wealth and sustainability and healing for these 4 children who are now in college, which means I can fly around the world and take all of my magic around the world. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the fire ceremonies, the shamanic breathwork ceremonies, the intuitive healing groups, all of the stuff, the drumming, the dragon activation breathwork, all of it, and I'm taking it around the world. I was just in England in October, and I did shamanic breathwork with my friends Carolyn Mitchell and Stephanie Cartwright and Jocelyn Clark. We did it at the Twyford Community Center, and it was astonishing. It was so impactful. I could feel it in the ground. So I'm going to do it again. So if you live in England, look for a big juicy retreat, week-long retreat happening there. If you're here, my friend has a place in Mount Shasta. I'm also going to start doing work over there. But let's get down to dragons. When my mom was dying, it was inevitable, terminal. It was horrifying. I went to go visit her before she died, and there was a dragon around her. And I had never seen anything. I had never experienced anything. And that was the moment that I first cried that my mom was going to die, because my first thought was, I can't defeat a dragon. If a dragon has her, it's over. I'll never get her back. And she and I we always used to say, one soul in 2 bodies. So it was hard. It was really hard to lose her, to be there. I was there when she died. But it did open up this whole world of healing, because the night before she died, I woke up in the middle of the night and there was a ball of energy as big as my room around me. And it woke me up. It was kind of like when you have a dandelion that you would blow and all the seeds go all over, but you're in the center of it. That's what it felt like. It was sparkling. It was everywhere. And I could see it. It was all around me. And I thought, what is this? And it felt like my mom. And there was a little tiny one next to me. And the message that I got was, I'm giving you my power. That was the transfer. I showed up and she died physically. And so it was so interesting to be able to work through, what did that mean? What was that? I didn't know anybody who did anything weird or cool or interesting like that. And that was in 2009. So I've been working with dragon energy, angel energy, sort of seeing behind and through the veils ever since then. I did a shamanic breath work that continued to open things up. I've been studying with Linda Starwolf, who's in the Seneca Wolf Clan lineage. They're sort of in 3 different parts of New York. If you know the United States, New York State, they're the only tribe out of the 500 who never gave up their land to the European settlers. They are some fierce, interesting people. And so it's through the Wolf Clan that my lineage as a shaman comes from. And I've been studying with her since that first breath work, which would have been in 2018. And there's always more to learn, let's face it. So to bring the shamanism and the medical massage together, I like to bring clients to a place where I teach them how to work with pain, because most people seek help when they're in pain. Nobody is sitting on a beach having a cocktail saying, I should probably change my life. This isn't really working out for me. I think I need to do something different. It's always when we're in pain that we ask for help. It's when we're desperate. We have to surrender. We have to ask for help in order for grace to come in order for dragons, angels, healing guides, even our power animals. It's about us asking for that help. So I'm going to lead you through it right now, because there's really nothing like a hands-on experience to say, oh, okay, now I know what you're talking about. So since I'm a fire dragon, I might be able to get this candle lit, and if not, I'm going to imagine it. But we just had this incredible upload, download, and integration. So before we get started, give yourself time to give yourself a wiggle. Just kind of move your energy, move your body, give yourself time to stretch and grow and look around, reach way, way, way over, all the way over here. Make sure that you are giving yourself the wiggles, because when we get stuck, if we unstick the energy, it tends to come right back. So the bigger you can go, the more you can give your body space, the easier this will be. So once you've had time to really move around a little, take a breath. We're going to do in through your nose and out through your mouth. The key is bring in what you can and breathe out as much as you can. And what you want to do is focus on that exhale. Don't worry about the inhale. Your lungs are a vacuum. They're going to bring in what you need. It's okay. So you want to just breathe in what you need, breathe out what you don't need. And then pause, and then bring in what you need, breathe out what you don't need. Pause, and then breathe in love, and breathe out love. We are all vibrations of love. There is only love and the absence of love. It's just like the moon and the shadow of the moon. There is love, and there is the absence of love that can be spun around and brought back. But we need them both to have contrast and wholeness. So you can choose to look into the flame and focus your gaze on the flame, or you can choose to close your eyes. What you want to do is breathe normally and do a scan of your body from your head to your toes. And what that feels like is draw your love and attention to the area right above your head, to the area at the top of your head. Scan down to your ears, your mouth, your neck, your shoulders. Move whatever needs to be moved so that it feels loose, liquid, and flowing. Down to your chest, down to your tummy, your belly. Feel your hips, your hip bones, your legs, your knees. Keep scanning down your calves to your ankles, your heels, your toe tips, the ball of your feet, and the arch of your foot. Breathe in the top of your head. Breathe all the way down your body through as if you were exhaling out of the tip of your toes. Now, pick one area of your body that feels uncomfortable, tight, constricted, stuck, or in pain. In other words, it could be anywhere on the spectrum. It doesn't have to be sharp pain. It can just feel uncomfortable or a little bit less than fluid. 1 point. Bring all of your love and attention to that point. Whether it's something new that showed up today, whether it's a chronic injury, spinal fusion, an old injury, it's okay. But it's 1 point. All your love and attention on that point. As you breathe in, imagine that that point is moving out through your body and into your hands. With every breath, collect every piece of that discomfort and pain as if you are collecting it into a ball of energy in your hands. Every breath draws a little more from your body, through your arms, and into your hands. Focus one last breath to draw all of it up and blow it into your hands. And now use your imagination. Hand that ball over to a dragon. The dragon is in front of you and has been waiting for this moment to receive it well. You're giving it to the dragon as if you were giving them something delicious and wonderful, like a piece of chocolate cake. What is not serving you is energy that is serving them, and they know what to do with it. With one last breath, release the rest of it to the dragons. Put your hands on your heart. Look into your dragon and say thank you. What you released is no longer in your body. So it's important to take this moment to breathe infinite, endless, and unconditional love back into that spot. Go back to the spot that you were just noticing and breathe love into it. Source love. Pink, sparkly, golden sequins of love, and fill it back in and breathe it back out. Your tissues need time to re-knit themselves. So we are filling that back in with what formed all of us in the beginning. Endless, infinite, and unconditional love. When you feel it full, completely to overflowing, take a breath in and say out loud or to yourself, and so it is. Give yourself time to move again and feel your body. Feel the light in your body. Feel the gentleness in your body. Feel how easy it is to be, inhabit, witness, and observe your body. Take a drink of water. Move gently. If there's anything that came up for you, take some time to write a couple notes down. It may be something that you noticed. It may be something that surprised you. Maybe it wasn't pain at all. Maybe it was a limiting belief. Maybe it was an old story. Every once in a while, it's a person. There's a person who's attached to you that you didn't realize. And when you do it in a very gentle way where you ask for help from the dragons, you're assured it will be of no harm to your physical body. Bodies are durable, but also fragile. So taking care of your body is important. Raising the awareness of your human experience takes place in your body. Your body is your library. It has your DNA. It has all of your memories. All of your activations happen inside this beautiful human body. So you never have to worry about what other people are doing All you need to do is focus on your own personal truth. When someone says something, it's your body that will tell you that's true for you or it's not. You don't need to worry about other people telling you who you are or what your path is, because you've got that knowledge intuitively inside of you. Spend your time with your body, clearing out your blocks, clearing out your pain, because pain is very distracting. It could really do a number on your disposition. But it's also worth bringing your love and attention to the pain. Your body's talking to you. It's trying to tell you, you overuse this part. Move the computer, move the chair, move the desk, walk a little bit more. It's working hard to get your attention. And it's trying to stay alive and stay in homeostasis, in balance, all the time. Everything, every question that you have, your body has an answer to. You can sit with it and use it to access your dragon healers at any moment. Any moment, any time of your life. In the middle of the night, you wake up in pain, walk through this, identify where it is, breathe into it, give it as a gift. Allow them to take that energy and recycle it into the universe. It doesn't serve you, but it does serve them. And it's a construct to get us into the practice of asking for help. We get very conditioned into being independent, into saying, I can do it, into saying, I've got this. No, we're all in community. There's not one person on the planet, there's all of us. And asking for help is the practice to invite grace into your human experience, because you can't ask for help unless you're humble. And when you're humble, you ask for grace, and grace will always answer your call and answer your question. And dragons are let's face it, phenomenal helpers. I mean, they are the best. If you're called to work with dragons, by all means, answer the call, because it means that you have an extraordinary mission, that you're here for a reason, and we need you. We need you so much. So please answer the call, be part of us, come with us, work on your inner stuff, and remember the love that created all of us. So again, just a quick advice on processing. Processing is important. Write down your experience, have some water, check in with your body. A lot of you guys in the UK are getting ready to go to bed. Just make sure whatever thought you have before you go to bed, try your very best. Just fill me with your grace. Bring in endless, infinite, unconditional love. Sleep in the arms of dragons. Sleep under the blankets of protection. Give your human body, this dura mater, the super, super, super dense stuff, time to assimilate to all of the changes that it just went through, that maybe your conscious mind is not aware of, but it happened. So give it time, and just feel your body. Just touch your body, feel your body, check in with your body, hang out with it, and see what it feels like, and see how it changes. So before I take any questions, and I've got lots of time for questions if there's any, I always tell people, no one is alone, and we all know people, and we all have a network. So I want to introduce you and help you to my network. So part of my network is Caroline Mitchell, who you might know. She wrote the How to Live with Dragons book on Watkins. Excellent book. Anybody who wants to start to learn how to work with dragons, right here. Carolyn Mitchell, Amazon, UK, and the US. She's everywhere. For people who, especially when they just did that, they have some grief. A lot of times grief comes up. We let go and suddenly there's grief. My friend Stephanie Cartwright is also on the call, and she's a dragon therapist. She's a licensed bereavement counselor, and she can help you go through all of the stages of grief in a unique way for people that have the vibration of dragons and are experiencing grief. They often are taking on grief of the collective, and that can feel very scary and very big. If you go to the group, look up Stephanie Cartwright, drop down if that's something that's calling to you, and then you can also send me a message as well. Also on the call, if you suddenly find that you think you're the only person who not only works with dragons, but you work with phoenixes, no, there's other people. My friend Jocelyn Clark is also on the call. You can go to the little chat and look up Jocelyn Clark. She's a phoenix mage, and she has a calling to work with phoenixes, especially in relationship to runes and symbols and colors and things like that. So feel free to spread the love to the whole group because, again, it's a network. We're all here to help each other and do our part to look around and fill in one little piece of it. If you want to get a hold of me, it's very simple, atlantiswolf.com. I have online classes and breathwork. I'm doing retreats all over the place. Call me. If you have 10 people, I have a passport. I will come. I will do dragon activation, breathwork, drumming, fire ceremonies, whatever you need. I am quite liberated, quite happy, and probably going to be traveling for the rest of my life because that's where my joy is. So you can definitely count on that. As far as questions, I was taught a cool trick in a networking group. And that is, if you go to the reactions button and raise your hand, then Zoom will put it in order. And then that way, all I have to do is go to the gallery view, and the top left corner, whoever has their hand raised, I know that they have a question, and then I have a better chance of getting it. So if you have a question, go down to the 3 dots under More, click on it, and then click on Reactions, and click on Raise Hand, and with any luck, I will see you, and if not, Kevin will say, help. All right. Does that work for you, Kevin?
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Bernice, what is your question, please?
Hello, thank you for the meditation. And I noticed that you called yourself, I'm new to the dragon experience. I noticed that you called yourself a fire dragon, which is a new concept for me. Um, I was looking at dragons as outside of myself, but I noticed that you said I am a fire dragon. So can you elaborate on that or how it feels? Thank you.
So, of course, thank you for your question. So everyone has their own experience. So some people are dragon riders. They'll see dragons and they'll always see themselves on a dragon going to different places, either around the world or through space, time and space and things like that. Some people, feel, see, hear, anything like that. Me personally, I see dragons, but I also, after years of meditation, realized that I was a dragon and that I'm actually a fire dragon, so I'm very connected to the element of fire. In the same way that if you want to think of it as like a radio station, how you can turn the dial. So I have an angelic version of myself. I have a dragon version. I'm connected to Mother Mary and that lineage. There's a sort of a version of me that works in that space when I'm doing particular healings. Obviously, I have a very human, like this is what I look like, face. And so think of it as layers or channels in the same way that you can have layers of cake that are different colors, different flavors and things like that. It is my personal experience is that I am a fire dragon, an elemental. Does anybody else have a question? Everybody's ready for bed. let's see. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody, but if that is the only question, then I'm going to hand it back over to Kevin and wrap it up.
If there's people out there that are shy to come on camera, if you want to put your questions in the comments, we'll give you sort of 30 seconds to start typing if you want to start typing it. I know it's like in the past I was always like, oh, I don't want to ask a question, I might look silly. Don't worry about it. Just put
All right,
it
well,
in the comments.
full disclosure, one of the reasons why I did the raise the hand is because if we go into the chat, I'm going to have to use my glasses. So give me a second. Let's see.
Let's see if
Oh,
anyone's
good. Yay, Dragon Rider from Atlantis. Yes. My name is not in the shamanic tradition. You don't give yourself a name. A shaman gives you a name, and then you live with it for a year and decide if you want to make it public or you want to keep it your private name in your own spiritual community. So the shaman who I was teaching, who I was learning from, who was my teacher, she gave me the name Atlantis Wolf because of a particular breath work that happened. I'm purposely ambiguous because it is kind of a private thing, but just to give people the background, some people want to give themselves, firing flame eater griffin of Halcyon, and it's ridiculous because your ego will give you a name. When someone else gives you a name, it has more meaning. And in my tradition, in the Seneca Wolf clan tradition, you have to be given a name and also live with it for a year. You can't just put it on a t-shirt and run around with it. So there's a little bit of background about that. How do I know if I'm being called to working with dragons? Well, you're here, so that's a good sign. But it's sort of a matter of, do you see dragons in the world? Do you see them in clouds? Do you see them in books? Are you sort of pulled magnetically into the world of dragons? Do you just have a natural interest in them? Do you find them fascinating? Do you want to know more? People have to be called to work with dragons. It's not the kind of thing you sort of say, oh, well, dragons are trending, I think I'm going to go work with dragons. It won't happen. Nothing will happen. Nothing. It'll be radio silence. But if it's this natural kind of, like, I didn't ask to see my mom surrounded by a dragon. It put me into a state of despair, to be totally honest. If it just happens, that's an excellent sign. So it's more a matter of, do they show up for you all over the place? Do suddenly you feel like people are talking about dragons? Unfortunately, we are in 2024, the year of the dragon, so it feels like everybody's talking about them. But again, going back to that personal truth, find people who you resonate with. When you hear people talk about fire dragons, if that lights you up, go talk to them. If you are really into the galactic dragon clan or the Palladian, or not the elementals, but the more galactic dragons, if that sounds really cool to you, go find people who already do that and just ask them to have a little conversation and say, how did you get into it? What do you recommend? Help me out. It's a very friendly bunch. We have a very brave person who raised their hand. Kamla, what can I answer for you, please?
Yes, hello. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Yeah. Well, I would say that I'm a dragon woman, and the dragons have, been coming to me for around a year, very intensely and intensively. And it's a journey, and it's so exciting. And I'm curious about your take on this healing part with the dragons. I have this experience that all kinds of different elemental dragons and other dragons can all be presenting themselves as wanting to assist with healing. I encountered a transparent water dragon for really releasing grief and letting go. And
Mm-hmm.
also, yeah, there are many others.
Mm-hmm.
What is your take on that?
Well, water dragons, water is connected to the element of your lungs. Your lungs are where grief is stored. So if you look at Chinese acupuncture, it's the lung meridian from here down to here. You can trace that when you're working with the dragons. And of course, we cry tears when we grieve, but there's essentially a dragon for everything. There is absolutely every different kind, which is why I'm very careful not to say, you meet a fire dragon. I would never say that. That's why I'm always very careful to say you meet a dragon, because wherever you are in your journey, if you are highly experienced, a little experienced, if you're ready to be surprised, you're going to have your own team. There's your own group of dragons trying to work with you, but you're going to have a guardian, like a guardian angel, and then they will introduce you to all the other ones. But there's really no limit. But it is a good idea to try and find one to work with and have that connection first before you invite all of them into your life, because things could get a little too interesting because they don't really have the same cares that people do, and you may find yourself surrounded by dragons and too high on dragon energy to pay your bills and kind of in a little bit of a pickle on the human side. So my best advice is one at a time, but free will.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope that helps. You're welcome. Somebody asked a question about my connection to Atlantis, and my connection to Atlantis is, I'm just going to use the phrase heavy duty. I was in charge of the crystal vaults in Atlantis, and it was my job to go down. And when we decided that the powers were being used for negative purposes, destruction, I was in the small group of people who decided to take down Atlantis. Atlantis decided that was okay too. For anybody who's deep into the lore of Atlantis, you'll know that the last one was the 5th iteration. There were 5 different versions of Atlantis, and I was there at the last one and went into the crystal vaults and took the red crystals and turned them against each other, and my contract was that I would go down with Atlantis, and I had that full past life memory in the first shamanic breathwork that I ever did, which was kind of a doozy, I'll be honest. Okay, no transition. Robin, how are you? What question can I answer for you?
Hi, thank you so much for being here today and answering our questions and all the things.
You're welcome.
So I was on a land healing retreat last month, and I feel like I acquired a dragon. We were doing a meditation, and I felt the energy come at me, go through me, flip around, and I felt like I had wings on my back. And
Excellent.
I have connected somewhat. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know where, like, I know I'm being called. I have felt the calling now for very strongly this past year, but even before that, I just didn't know what to do. And, I work a lot with the angels, and I'm transitioning into dragons. So I don't really know what my question is, but what would you like to say?
So, angels, you can think of angels and dragons as the angels are the upper chakras and the dragons are the lower chakras, and that is my personal experience. That's how I have experienced them. Whenever I connect to the angels, it is from around the solar plexus and heart up through my crown chakra, and the dragons are always very low and wanting me to talk very low and tone very low into the lower chakras because they're very centered on the earth. And so what I would recommend is, because you already have a nice strong connection, find a place that's easy for you to interact with them. And that might be just going to bed 15 minutes earlier than you normally would and meditating on you and your dragon, where you kind of found each other when you were doing that land retreat. Go back to the land in your imagination, sit back on the land, whatever however it was a ceremony, not ceremony, that in that moment, recreate that moment in your imagination, and then ask the dragon to come and dream with you, because that's a much easier frequency, especially for beginners. My MO is, if you're going to start a spiritual journey, usually people start with me. I am like the beginning of the path. I've gone so far down the path that I like to come back and help people start. So I'll walk with you for the first couple steps of your path, but like all shamans, it is a path of direct revelation. So I'm going to be like, love you, send a postcard. If you fall down, call me. But give yourself time to reconnect to that moment. And then if you know what clair you are, like pull in that sense of, what did it look like? What did the land look like? What does a dragon look like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does your body feel like when it's around? Fill in your senses. And then when you've got that kind of full to overflowing, like you've really saturated it, then ask the dragon to come and meet you in a dream, and ask the dragon, how do you want to work with me?
Okay.
If you're really good at land clearing, you might be the kind of person who's called onto missions, essentially like earth missions, to everywhere you go, take a minute, get out of your car, and just ground into the land and ground the energy. And it sounds, what intuitively I'm getting is that you are a person who's connected to land, not water, and that you're very good at waking up dragons. So the dragons move to a frequency. We were talking about frequencies. They didn't leave the earth. They changed their frequencies. They're still here. They're in the land and the water and the rocks and the mountains. They're here, but they're on a different frequency. And so people who are tuned in, like you are, can wake them up. And you can say, what do you want me to do? And you can equally say, go where you need to go. If I was just supposed to wake you up and send you on your way, I could do that. Does that help?
Absolutely. 1000%. Cool. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And you just inspired somebody, Christine, to be brave as well. And I'm not over time. So Christine, or Christina, I'm so sorry. What can I answer for you?
Oh, no, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you so much for this, Atlantis Wolf. You're amazing. Your energy is incredible. Immediately when you said wolf, I was like, whoa, the wolves have been coming to me, and like this archetype of like this wild woman running with wolves. And I've been connecting more with white buffalo calf woman. So everything is just like divine timing. But my question is, but my question is, I don't know if they're like earth dragons. I'm going to say like they're earth land dragons, but it's almost like these black dragons. I get the feeling of like obsidian. I'm here in Maui, Hawaii. So they have been coming to me recently. I didn't feel like it was time to work with them. But can you share anything about like these very grounding, like almost volcanic dragons? It's amazing.
So just so you know, the wolf archetype, by the way, is the pathfinder and the way shower. So the wolf archetype is about going through and finding the path to safety, and then turning around and getting the pack and taking the pack on that path in a safe way. So consider that you are going to be the person who finds their way through, kind of whatever you're going through at the moment with figuring this out, and that you're going to turn around and then do workshops on it, collect people around it, online stuff, and then that you'll be that person who can safely navigate through without any pitfalls and not any risks or anything. So I'm connected to Obsidian in Mexico. I'm half Mexican, and I'm connected to the Obsidian, which is in Teotihuacan, about an hour northeast of Mexico City. So there's large beds of obsidian there, and I'm connected with those. So what I can tell you is that obsidian is uniquely gifted in healing physical bodies. So if you have spheres of obsidian, I have those in my massage studio, then it's easier for a person's vibration to let go of negativity. They're very clean. It's very clean energy, clean earth energy. And it also is a reminder that everything that we dream comes from darkness. Seeds are planted in darkness. We gestate in water in darkness. The obsidian and the darkness is the theme of where do you go to heal? Deep, deep, deep into the earth. So there are temples below Maui where you are. And if you meditate with your dragon and ask them, look for when you're meditating, find a place that really exists in Maui. And then when you sit there with your imagination, imagine that there's a hole, and it could be at the base of a tree, like a fairy hole. It could be a cave on the beach. It could be anything that feels right to you, but there's going to be a hole, and you're going to take, in meditation, you and your dragon through that hole down into the obsidian temples, and then ask the guardians that are down there, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to just connect with you? Do you want me to bring people to connect with you? Ask for your purpose after you're already there.
Wow.
Does that help you?
It does. Oh my God. And it just brought me back to a meditation that a teacher of mine has sent me on Pele and the obsidian crystal temple. So
Yeah.
that's confirmation. Wow, that's incredible. Oh my God, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, those are, remember, they're all connected at the obsidian layer of the earth is connected. So if you ever wanted to do a meditation together, I could go through the temples in Teotihuacan. You could go through Maui, and we can actually meet underground.
Oh my God, that would be amazing. Yes, I would love to work with you later on. Okay, I'll be in
That would be
contact.
super fun. Yeah, atlantiswolf.com. I'm super easy to find.
Okay.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you.
And
oh my God.
I still got a little bit of time. Karen, can I help you answer a question?
Yes, thank you. When you said your name was Atlantis Wolf, that resonated, I'm sure, with many people. But in a past life, my name was Run with Wolves, and in another past life, I was in Atlantis, a male, and I had a dragon. I would ride her. She comes to me. She's bluish, silver, white. And when we did the wealth meditation, it was a reddish brown. And then it was a reddish brown dragon that came to me. And then when we did the paint, it was a black dragon. So it seems, I don't know, I've never worked with them. This just all started within the last few months. And I just wanted to see, my goal this year is to start a very influential spiritual business. I'm a light worker. So that's my goal. And I wanted to see what you would feel about helping with, I guess, what do I do with the dragons? These are all new to me. I thought I only had one, and then 2 more showed up today. So I'm not sure of how that path goes with me. I don't know if you have any insider information.
So remember that dragons and angels both were created at the beginning of the universe. So before the universe split and there was an ego and a spirit, there were dragons and angels. They don't have an ego and a spirit split. They are unified. They're unified beings. And so when you say that you want to begin an influential workshop, that's more ego. The key is all you want to do is focus on yourself. You heal the planet by healing yourself. You have a gabillion ancestors behind you. It's it's okay. A lot of the work that we're doing, all the light workers are doing, is to heal ourselves and then just work backwards through the lineage. There's more than enough work to be done because we know that we can heal ancestral trauma in this lifetime, at this timeline right now, but they didn't know that back then. 300 years ago, when there was, a husband and wife and a burning house, and the guy went in for the baby, and now they're both dead, and that trauma just got passed on and on and on. You can heal that in your lineage, and it's enough work to work on that, and that will influence the sphere. So instead of the goal being to become influential, focus on you working with whatever dragon shows up for you that day, and really strengthening the connection. Practice makes the master. If you resonate with one of those dragons, like I'm really feeling the blue and white dragon today, Sit, meditate, ask the dragon, how can I serve the planet today? Dragons are connected to the planet and the planet's ascension. We're just little tiny beings on the planet, but we can help. And they're trying to help get us free of trauma so we can be a clear channel for the ascension energy that's coming through. The earth is rebirthing herself, and we're helping. The dragons are here to help that rebirth. So just focus on your own healing, practice your own connection. Practice makes the master. And then you, by being alive and present, will create your own sphere of influence naturally. You won't have to make it a goal. It'll just happen organically and on its own.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. Okay, last question. Vicky, what can I answer for you, please?
Hi, thanks so much for being here. I'm just receiving so much from you. I wanted to share after that last the little meditation where we breathe the energy into our hand. I was guided to do it for my whole childhood, which was full of trauma and pain. And I started off in my mother's womb, and then I went all through all the ages and brought it right back up to like age 20, all that wound and trauma. And then I gave it to the dragon. It was like it was so beautiful because just came after you said that first experience, and then the dragon was like, keep going, keep going. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. And remember, I'm teaching you a practice. You could do this. You don't need me to do this. I am not specially qualified. I can lead you through it to give you the practice, but you can do this on your own and you can continue doing it. The reason why I do it this way is that I was guided to find a way to do it that's harmless to the body. So the reason why I say hands is because if you put your hands straight out, you'll notice that that T that you create with your body proves and shows, at least as I was told, your hands are in the same strata as your heart chakra.
Right.
So when you have your hands, you're putting your hands on somebody else, you're putting your heart on them. And so because you are bringing it into your hands and creating a ball, you're subconsciously, inadvertently bringing it through your heart and down through your hands. So you are bringing love into that ceremony of release, which is why I believe it's so powerful. And I know that that's why it's harmless to your body for sure.
Yes, and it was so powerful because previous to Alphadia, I was talking about manifestation of wealth, and the message that kept coming when I was doing the exercise with the dragon, with the going through, was trauma turned to treasure, which is the manifestation of abundance, right? Yeah, and I'm writing a book about my life, my childhood. So it all came together today. You and Alphadia we're working together with this beautiful experience, exercises and energies, and thank you much.
You're
gratitude.
welcome. You're so welcome. Divine timing, right? Whenever I do a ceremony, the first thing I always say is, well, you called me and I'm here. I show up. I am that person. I am super spirit girl. Whenever spirit says, we need you to go do this, I usually go, all right. And that's pretty much the long and the short of my whole story. But
I love it.
I have such great adventures because I have my human like, oh, geez, all right. I've never said no.
I love it. And if you do Mount Shasta retreat, that's my favorite place. I love the Talos and the energy there, and I'm a Lemurian. Yeah, I go to. That's my jam. That place. So I'd love to do something with you there, a workshop or something.
I've never been there, and my friend just bought a retreat house there, so I'll be there at the end of August, beginning of September. I'm gonna do a dragon activation breathwork healing ceremony, and then I'm actually being called to teach dragon activation breathwork to people and just give it away. Like, come for the training. I'm not certifying. I'll give you everything that I know, and then you make it your own and take it out into the world. And I'm also going to do a monthly free dragon meditation group for planetary service. I'll be putting that on my website and Instagram. So if anyone is interested, that's the next thing that I have coming up.
So exciting. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so delightful. Great. I've got 3 minutes. I'm under time. Kevin, how did I do?
You've done amazing. There's a message from Nicola Rose Lush, so she can't raise her hand and she has a question for
Oh
you.
no.
So if she wants to
Oh sure.
unmute herself, I'll ask her to unmute.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Hi, hello there.
Hi, Nicola.
Hi there, you are. Hi there. Myself and my husband are both fire dragons, and my son's a water dragon through the year of the Chinese dragon. But it's quite fiery. It can be quite fiery in the house, but yeah, it really can. But the water dragons are asking me more to work with them because I work with energy anyway. They're asking me to really work with them and go. And I do go into water to heal through the water and everything. So do you think that's calming the house as well, or what could I do to calm with the dragons a little bit more for the energy? Because both my son and my husband and I, it's not all fiery all the time, but it can be at times.
So what they're telling me is, remember that water is constantly flowing, and instead of clearing water that is still, like lakes or oceans or things like that, imagine that you are actually running a river through your house, and that you're blessing the water as it comes through your house for its highest and best purpose and intention, as if you were holding that space and the water was coming through your house, and having meditations, and it can be with just you or all three of you, or just it doesn't really matter, but setting the intention that the energy in your house is not staying in the box and swirling around, but that you are, with your imagination, opening a window, whether it exists or not. Open a window on one side, open a window on the other, and that you want the water to flow through your house. The energy is intense in your house, and you need to give it both an entry and an exit point. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so happy to help. Okay.
Beautiful. And perfect timing, because you've just got 1 minute left. I think somebody's asked what your website is, and yeah.
Yes, atlantiswolf.com, and it looks like Alphidia. Oh, thank you for putting it up for me. I super appreciate it. I have trouble working my fingers when I get really high energy. I do a lot better just talking. So yes, it is atlantiswolf.com. I've got online stuff. I'm putting together a course, so that's going to be coming out this year. And I will, of course, this year and forever be at Kevin's International Dragon Summit in July as well.
Beautiful. I look forward to that as well. That was beautiful. You answered so many amazing questions there, and I think there might have been some that you missed, but I'm sure if you get a chance, if you want to look through them at some point.
Yes, I'll save the chat, and then I'll do my best to get back to everybody. And obviously, if anybody ever wants to send me a message, Instagram, Dragon Medicine Woman. I also heal dragons in my spare time, but I answer all questions on Instagram. It's just the easiest place to get a hold of me.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and amazing timing as well. Let's send Atlantis Wolf lots and lots of love. Come on, send her lots of love, lots of hearts. I'm gonna press the heart button. There you go. Thank you very much. That was beautiful. Yep, there they are. All the love is being sent to you. Multicolored rainbow ones as well. Thank you, Atlantis. That was beautiful.